will analyze the financial performance of Starbucks Corporation. First of all, Starbucks is the largest coffee house with almost 22,000 stores all over the world. We will be looking at numbers from the years 2010 to 2014. When we look at Starbucks income statements over the years, we can clearly see that the net income is not so steady, which can be bad because year after year the earnings are unpredictable. They are way higher in 2012 than 2013, and that range is even bigger with 2014, as you can see. Effectively, in 2013 the profit dropped a lot. We cannot even see the gray line in the graph for that year. It is caused by the increased growth of operating expenses in red. But despite that rough year, the company managed to get back in 2014 with an even higher net income than 2012. Looking at the balance sheet gives information about liquidity and solvency of the company by using financial ratios. First, if we look at the yellow line, we see that the current ratio in 2014 has decreased a lot compared to 2012. In fact, that ratio went from 1.9 to 1.4 in 2 years. It has a direct effect on the liquidity of the company. It means that the ability to meet with short-term obligations went down, so Starbucks may have less freedom to pay their debts. Afterwards, the blue lines represent solvency ratios that measure the ability to pay long-term obligations. The light blue one is the debt ratio and the darker one is the equity ratio. According to 2014, they are about equal, which means that assets are financed with both investments from shareholders and debts. The fact that they are equal is a good thing because the company can still rely on one if the other goes wrong. As for 2013 and 2012, debt ratio and equity ratio are very different. If we had to choose the best situation between the two, I would say 2012 because the investments are higher than debts and we don't want to have too much debt. Now, as for profit margin, if we expand the 3 years we have been looking at to 5 years, we can see that Starbucks doesn't really have that big of a profit margin. Let's look at the profit margin from Dunkin' Brands, a very similar chain of stores in the same industry. We see that they have a constant growing net income that goes up to 25% of profit margin, which is much better than Starbucks. In conclusion, with this small analysis, we understand that Starbucks has very different years, whether we look at revenues, costs of revenues, expenses, and even profit margin. To really understand the reasons behind these differences, a bigger analysis would be to make, but for now, thanks a lot for watching.